It is important to point out that should this not be followed well, the MSS forces or the MSS mission might be seriously impacted, because the MSS mission came as a result of this Presidential Transitional Council. If they are going to start to be implicated in such matters, such serious matters as bribery and corruption, then they can as well discredit the role of the MSS forces in the country. Well, reports that are coming from Haiti are that 3 members of the Presidential Transitional Council have been accused of bribery, that is corruption, by the anti-corruption agency in Haiti. And that goes further to say that these 3 were demanding 750,000 US dollars from the director of government-owned National Bank of Credit to secure his job. So these 3 members of the Presidential Transitional Council are Smith Augustine, Emmanuel Vatilaire, and Gerald Gills. So the 3 were demanding 750,000 US dollars from the director of government-owned National Bank of Credit to secure his job. Now, the report goes further to say that Gills organized a meeting among the council members, the former bank director Raul Pascal Pierre-Louis, and Haitian consul Lonique Leander at the Royal Oasis Hotel in Port-au-Prince, where the demand was made, that is as per the agency. So the Presidential Transitional Council is akin to the presidency in Haiti, because Haiti doesn't have an elected president after the assassination of Jovenel Moïse. So the PTC was chosen. A few people were chosen to sit at the Presidential Transitional Council, and these are people who are from different backgrounds in Haiti, professionals of different cadres and measure that have been called to serve as the presidency in Haiti. And the head of the Presidential Transitional Council is Edgar Leblanc. And I'm sure if you've been following the UNGA summit, you've seen Edgar Leblanc, who delivered the speech at the UNGA. Now, the report about the 3 that have been implicated in corruption charges is not just any report. This is a major scandal that has gotten the PTC. And this is major in various ways. One, it weakens the government and leads to impunity, because the situation that Haiti is in right now is majorly because of instances like this. The public doesn't have faith on their leaders, and that is why they go ahead to have these different groupings to ouster governments or to justify their need to self-govern. So the problem that we are seeing right now, that is now trying to engulf the current PTC, the Presidential Transitional Council, is the similar problem that has been ailing Haiti for the longest time, that people are not trusting their leaders, and that is why they are finding their own solutions to solve their problems. So, and that goes or extends further even to law enforcement. That is why you find someone like Jimmy Cherizier from the law enforcement going all the way to change to be a gang leader and going against the government that he served for a good chunk of his professional years. So the Presidential Transitional Council should be the bastion of ethics in the country. Now, if the Presidential Transitional Council is implicated in such matters as corruption, and it is only corruption that has led the country to be where it is, then this is going to be a problem for the nation of Haiti going forward. Now, these are just accusations that have just come right now, that the 3 have been implicated in corruption charges, and what follows next will be very important, because what follows will determine whether Haiti will be going to the right path or Haiti will degenerate further into gang violence and the justification of using of arms to ouster governments and call for demands. Because if you're looking at the gang's side. They were saying that they don't trust their leaders. They don't trust the people who are holding office. You remember they ousted Ariel Henry because they said Ariel Henry did not deserve to be their prime minister. And it gave them reason enough because the only thing that people want is reason. If you give them reason enough, they are going to revolt. So if the Haitian people, and that includes even the people who are doing criminal activities, if you give them reason enough to not to trust these authorities, then the society, the entire society has been broken. And that is why you'll find that people now support these other people more than they support the government. That is why you'll find that people would rather trust the gangs and gang leaders than trust their elected members or appointed members. Now, it is an even larger problem when these members are not elected and they are appointed. The PTC is an appointed position. No one elected the PTC. So when a member of the PTC will be implicated in such matters, and the Haitian people know that these people are being paid through their taxpayer money, then it's going to be a bigger challenge because they're going to say that they don't deserve to be there. So, as I had said just earlier, the buck now stops with the Presidential Transitional Council, the rest of the members of the PTC, the head of the PTC, Edgar LeBlanc, and the Prime Minister, Gary Cornell, to ensure that such instances are dealt with and that the entire investigation will be done so that they can get behind what was happening and why it happened, because these issues are going to affect even the deployment of the MSS forces in Haiti. If such matters will not be critically investigated, if such matters will not have a conclusion, a better conclusion according to the law, then they will, in a way, be justifying criminality in the country. Because one will say, if a member of the Presidential Transitional Council can ask for bribes, then why shouldn't someone else ask for a ransom after a kidnap? Why should someone else not do this or that? So the buck stops with the PTC currently, the members of the PTC that are not implicated in this, and the Prime Minister, to make sure that everyone follows the law, as well as the law enforcing authorities that are in Haiti currently. As well as, it is important to point out that should this not be followed well, the MSS forces or the MSS mission might be impacted, might be seriously impacted, because the MSS mission came as a result of this Presidential Transitional Council. We had the previous Presidential Transitional Council that had appointed or seen the service of Ariel Henry in power. That PTC was disbanded earlier this year when even the Prime Minister Ariel Henry stepped down. So we had a new PTC forming after Ariel Henry stepped down. So this is a brand new PTC from that period up to now, and it was now supposed to serve the entire season up to the elections. And now this is also the PTC that allowed the MSS to be in the country. So if they're going to start to be implicated in such matters, such serious matters as bribery and corruption, then they can as well discredit the role of the MSS forces in the country. So the buck will stop again with the authorities in Haiti to make sure that these instances of corruption, these instances of bribery are severely dealt with, because we cannot judge human behavior. But what we can do is to make sure that these individuals face the law, because if they don't face the law, then the society is going to react. And of course, the society will react negatively when these issues are not addressed in the right way.